All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's your man, DJ Gatsby. We're here on the Zoom broadcast of the talk show with DJ Gatsby. Our guest today is, Teresa, how are you? Oh, you can't hear me. Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute. You can't hear me? Oh, hold on, let's see. All right, there you go. Unmute your mic. Let me unmute that for you. Wait. You know what? Wait a minute. Anyway, hold on one sec. Why can't, are you, unmute your mic. Your mic is unmuted, or do I have you? I have you. Come on, man. Anyway, let's get this. Wait. All right. Are you on? You should be on now.
Yes.
There you go. All right. Thank you so much for being so patient with me. It's only my second Zoom broadcast here from my home here in Atlanta. So we still got a few technical difficulties and bugs that we're working out. But once again, welcome to the talk show with DJ Gatsby. I'm your host. My guest today is Teresa B. Howell, author, playwright, and singer. I read in your bio that you are a singer. And I mentioned earlier in one of my videos that you would possibly be singing for us today. We're not sure. Anyway, wait a minute. I'm supposed to be on Facebook Live too. All right. There we go. You're on Facebook Live. Teresa, thanks for coming on the show.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. I mean, you reached out to me and said you wanted to be a guest, and I obliged. Once I seen your bio and spoke to you and find out, a little bit about you, I thought you'd be a great guest for the second show. So thank you so much for deciding to come on.
I appreciate you. I kind of bullied you into it. Yeah, kind of.
I'm not really bullied, but you pretty much invited yourself, so to speak, and I obliged.
I appreciate it.
It was a good idea. After reading about you, seeing some of the other interviews that you had on some of the other platforms here. A very interesting interview that I heard was the one you did with Cyrus Webb from Conversations Live. Very good interview. I thought he was very in-depth. Good friend of mine. I know him from being on social media and an avid reader. So it was pretty cool to find out that you did the interview. But back to you. Welcome to the show. Tell us who you are and where you're from.
Well, my name is Teresa B. Howell. I am a national award best-selling Christian fiction author. I am originally from Boston, Massachusetts, but I currently live in North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina. I've been writing since 2016. For my full-time job, I am a teacher. I teach special education students reading, which is my favorite, and of course, writing. And on my pastime, writing, playwriting, screenwriting, writing.
Writing, you're doing a lot of writing. I get
writing.
it.
Yeah, whether it's for theater or production. And so we've kind of advanced from 2016. The book soared within a very short period of time. And then a year later went into plays, and then a year after that went into film. So.
Yeah, we're going to get into all of that, specifically your meteoric rise to national recognition as an author. First of all, congratulations on that. A lot of authors write books, but don't seem to have the success that other authors do. And we're going to get into that in a little bit, specifically what you did and how you got there. But how I always start these questions, I always start the interviews out with, how did you become a published author? Because I ask a lot of people, how did they start writing? They say, I've been writing since I was in 3rd grade. Yeah, okay. But you didn't decide to be an author until sometime after that. So when did you decide, to write that Church Life series? When did book 1 come about, and how did that come about?
Book one came from a place of pain. I wrote because my grandmother had passed, and someone from church actually said, God said you need to be writing. So I always tell that testimony about how the facial expression I had when it was like, what do you mean? God said I'm supposed to be writing. Like, what am I supposed to be writing? So I started that journey, and it was initially nonfiction. And then I realized that the place of pain wasn't sounding so well. And so I said, well, I have a great imagination. Let me go ahead and try to make this a fictional book. So it took me a year to write, and published May 24th, 2016. I did not have aspiration to write more than one book. I just did it to relieve myself from the pain.
Okay.
And so the response to the book was very overwhelming. I had no idea that it was going to go as far as it did. So from May until, I want to say mid-September, I went into a couple of bookstores. I posed as a publisher, got my books into several Barnes and Noble.
Okay.
And then noticed by Virginia Good Morning, and they asked me to come on an interview. So it just took off from there.
Okay. We're going to get to all of that timeline in a minute. All right. So again, back to the original question. You decide to write the book from a place of pain. You lost a family member. So you write the book. How do you publish the book? Because a lot of the questions people have, it's a self-published, third-party publisher, were you picked up by a major publisher? How did the publishing come about? Are you a self-published author, or are you signed to a publisher? You're a self-published author.
I'm a self-published author, correct. I went through Ingram Sparks for my first book.
Okay.
Yeah, had no clue what I was doing, but I made it work.
All right, yeah. Being a self-published author, doing all the administrative tasks yourself is very, very difficult. A lot of people say, oh, you can be a self-published author. You go on, you upload the book, you design your book cover, and boom, there you go. Now, that process isn't as easy as people think. How did you think the self-publishing process went? And real quickly, what advice would you give to authors who decide to go a self-published route for their very first book?
I would tell them to research. Don't go by word of mouth. You research it for yourself, because when I tried to publish my book, I was going by hearsay. Yeah. And so there was a couple of things that I missed along the way. When I started Googling and YouTubing and, inquiring about different things, and I started to compare stories of, different people who have published how to publish a book, that's when I got into the rhythm of things. But in the beginning, it was just, I was asking people, and then, you hear some people say this and you hear some people say that. So yeah, it was easier just to Google and look the information up.
Yeah, there are a lot of book gurus on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You got these people who motivational speakers, inspirational speakers, and book professionals who make a living telling people how easy it is to self-publish a book. And it really isn't that easy. It's just the first step of going about it. All right, so you self-publish your book. You go about the process of advertising, marketing, and promoting your book. Where do you start? Because you told me you ended up at Barnes & Noble with a book signing and things of that nature. How do you go from, all right, the book is published, it's released on Amazon, you get your first case of books from CreateSpace or whoever you got your books printed by. What's your first move? Who'd you sell your first book to? What was your first book signing?
Of course, my first stack of books was sold to family and friends. Sure. So I'm fortunate enough that I moved around once, about 19 years old. My mother wanted to do a tour with the military. So I made some really good connections throughout the years, had a lot of friends that I still kept in touch with through Facebook. And I took a marketing class in college, so I knew that the average consumer had to see my book at least 9 times before they would buy my book.
Wait a minute. That's a very interesting point. That's a statistical point. You read that the average books need to see your book 9 times. Now, where would they see it? Social media?
Social media. That was my main outlet, social media. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you get the book out, you get it published. It's called the Church Life Christian Fiction book. How does your church family react to the book? I want to know how these church people reacted to your book right away. What was the response, and how did your church family react to the book?
Well, it was a matter of just support at first. They buy your book and just to buy your book because you're a member of the church.
Yeah.
And then there were a couple that were avid readers that said, okay, well, I'm actually going to read her book. So when those individuals read the book, they passed the word on to the other ones. Hey, you really need to read her book. Like, this is a good book. And so that's how I kind of circulated throughout the church to get everybody to kind of read it. Now, of course, there were still some who did not read it because they're not readers. They just wanted to support me. But ironically enough, like one of the members told me, he had my book on his living room, dining room set table, and some guests came in from Texas.
Okay.
And they took the book back with them to Texas. And boom, I had like 6 readers from the people that came from Texas. So it was just like a domino effect.
Okay, wow, that's great because with the title, we're going to get to a little bit about the content of the book, but with the title, The Church Life, being Christian fiction, you're going to get church people or church family who's going to be interested in the book. All right, so now you got the book, you family, friends, coworkers. I know business marketing 101, family, friends, and coworkers is who you sell to, no matter what your product is. So. Right. Now your book is circulated, in your own personal circle.
Mm-hmm.
Your first book signing, where was that at, and when did that take place?
My first book signing, I want to say it was that September.
Okay.
I had my first one at a Barnes & Noble here locally.
Sure.
I did get a publicist to help me push it. Because I was an unknown author. So I did get someone to call that particular time, but it was like, once she got my foot in the door, I took it from there. And they bought like my first set of 20 books for a bookstore, which was amazing.
Wow. So you speak to the management of the Barnes & Noble near you. They
mm-hmm.
agree to let you have a book signing, and they actually purchased 20 books to be on the shelf. That's fantastic. So for everybody that's listening, that's how you get to these stores, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, these other boutique stores that sell books. You just had to knock on the door, gave somebody a call, let them know who you were. Now, is your books in libraries? Because I know libraries are another popular place that people try to have their books in, a lot of boutiques. So it is in libraries.
Yes. So being that I'm a teacher, my teacher friends advocated. They went to several libraries within the city, and that's how that started. So before you knew it, I was in like 6 libraries in Durham, which trickled out to other states.
Wow, this whole project was blessed from the beginning. It seems like a lot of doors opened for you. Now, you mentioned that you were a teacher. We had spoke about this a little briefly before about your teaching experience. Tell us a bit about your teaching experience and how that's helped you as a writer. Because I know you told me about your college background and being in teaching. How has being a teacher helped you as a writer?
Because I teach English, I had to.
Okay.
I had to be on point, because my students will be like, Miss Howell, you told us that, that was not the way you said this, and they read. My students read. So it made me more aware. It made me, because my first book, I didn't have the best editors, right? So you have people out there who say that they're going to edit your book, and you don't know the process, and they see that you're green, so they kind of take your money. So the first couple of copies of the book, students and people in the church were like, hey, I saw an error. I saw this. I saw that.
Absolutely. They're going to point that out. Yeah.
Right. So once that was pointed out, I said, okay, this book needs to be perfect. And I was fortunate enough to find LaToya Smith. She's an author that used to be with Simon & Schuster.
Okay.
I was referred to her by Jacqueline Thomas, who ended up becoming one of my mentors. So it was just like favor. It was a domino effect. And I really started to have people in my corner, like making sure that my product was good after I wrote that first book.
Yeah. Now, based on our previous conversations, you told me you were very well accepted into the the fraternity of authors and writers, particularly in the Christian fiction genre.
Mm-hmm.
What do you attribute that to? Because some of the people that you mentioned, Victoria Christopher Murray, Shonda Tate Billingsley, you went on and on about Christian fiction authors, and your book actually caught the attention of media, magazines, and other people. How did how did that process make you feel? Because I know you got to be, first of all, excited. Your book is selling, and you're actually meeting these New York Times best-selling authors, and you're seeing your name right alongside them. How did that part feel, being accepted in that fraternity of best-selling authors?
Oh my God, it was so surreal because, when you get to be in the same room with Kimberly Lawson Roby,
Sure.
You have Victoria Christopher Murray teaching you an editing class, and you get to go to Jacqueline Thomas's house, and she trains you step one-on-one. Okay. Like it's surreal. Like not a lot of people get that opportunity, but I want to say it's probably because they saw what my potential. Victoria told me flat out, there's not too many storytellers like you. You can tell a story like no other. There's some people that write books, but there aren't people that can tell a story. And so when I started to share that with other authors, of which, because I was excited, like, I even...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like that's Victoria Christopher Murray. So, I even took a screenshot of the conversation because it was like, this is huge. And when I shared that with some other authors that knew her or have worked with her before, they decided to read the book, and they said, I agree that you are a storyteller and all you need is a little bit of help with characterization and you are on your way. And so
I noticed from our conversations as well, and some of the reviews, you're not just an author, you are a storyteller. You're a visual storyteller, and your books read like a play or a screenplay.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that caught my attention when having a conversation with you. And I've seen that in comments and reviews, doing my research on you, that was one of the things that separates you from a lot of other authors. All right, so now you got the book, you're getting the accolades, you're getting the recognition. You go into book 2, and now the story grows, because a lot of authors just write a standalone book. What made you decide to continue that series, by going with book 2 rather than starting another one? Because I understand there's a trilogy at this point now. You have 3 books in the series, The Church Life. How does that second and third book come apart? Is it the readers? Is it you? Who kind of facilitates that whole process to say, let's keep this going?
It was definitely the readers. It was not me, because that wasn't my plan nor my goal. So, I did not know it was going to be successful. So it was like a trial and error, at least I thought. But when I started making appearances on TV and talking to Victoria Christopher Murray and, being invited on all these radio shows, I was like, wait a minute, I might need to do this full time. Haven't done it full time yet, but definitely got encouraged by my readers to write a second book.
All right, so you write the first book, you get the attention, the media now knows about you. You're the darling of Durham, I guess, now as an author. And, you go on to the third book. Now, it's a trilogy at this point. When do you decide to write the play? Because to have it adapted to a play, because that's probably something that a lot of people didn't know about the book, that it's been adapted to a play, and you actually produced a play and locally. When does it decide to be a play? What about that undertaking? Because a lot of people want their books to be a play or a movie. How does that take place? Do you actually a playwright and you wrote the script for the play based on your book?
Believe it or not, it was a lot of cutting and pasting. I did get some help from
Okay, all right.
It's like directly from the books, like seriously, line for line. So I got a girl out of Charlotte who her name is Renee, They call her Ali Renee. I think that's the name she goes by.
Okay.
And she had plays that she had written. And so I asked her, could she help me? And she put it in play form. And basically all she did was just kind of like transfer line for line from my books, because I wrote it like a play or movie. So it wasn't hard to like put it together. The ending of the play may have been a little bit different than the outcome of the books. But it was definitely created for stage, for film already when I wrote it, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah. You did mention that, and I say this as well. Every author thinks their book should be a play and/or a movie. You've actually had your book adapted to a play and performed around Durham. How was that experience, sitting in the audience and watching a play that's based on a book that you have written? And what is that feeling like? What is the elation and feeling that you get from that moment right there?
Whew, wow. First of all, the fact that I was able to put it into a play was like huge. Second, to actually get actors to want to be in the play is another big to do. And then I had the place that I rented was it was a 425 seater. To have every seat filled, plus people sitting on the aisles.
And sold out shows. Yeah, you mentioned.
Yeah, sold out shows. Every last one of them I did. I did one in Durham. I went to Fayetteville, and then I came back to Durham. We were supposed to do one in Charlotte, but something happened with the venue there. But every one that I put on was sold out. And it was unbelievable, because I'm like, where are these people coming from? Like,
they're readers. They've heard about you. Your name is ringing bells at a lot of places. And, contrary to a lot of people's belief, Black readers want to see these books and plays. They want to see these books and films, but they have no idea what these writers have to go through to get it. So kudos to you for staying faithful, and I'm sure your prayers were answered with that being done, having it, a stage play. Now, what plans do you have for the church life now? I mean, it's a best-selling book, it's a trilogy, you've done the play. What plans do you have for the church life at this moment? Is there a book 4? You're shopping for a movie deal? What are you doing with the church life right now?
So I am shopping for movie deals, most definitely.
Okay.
I have been approached by a few producers, but I haven't, signed anything to where I've made a decision. Let's just put it that way. I'm not satisfied with some of the offers that have been made. I believe God is going to do it again. So I'm just waiting for that one particular producer to come and sweep me away, so that way we can make it into a movie.
Well, listen, prayers have been answered. You've been blessed so far with the career writing that a lot of authors could only dream of. How does your family feel about this? I know you told me you have a family, you have children. How does everybody feel? I mean, do they treat you any differently, or they just say that's mom, or that's my family member, my cousin? How is the family treating you? What's this celebrity like?
Well, my oldest son seems to think that I'm rich.
Oh, of course, yeah.
He thinks that all of this has created millions of dollars, which it does not. I want to be honest with writers. It is not like that. I sold 30,000 books and I'm still not rich. Okay. So, truth be told about that. And my youngest son, he does think that I'm a celebrity. He got caught sneaking my book when he was in 2nd grade, sneaking my book to school, because he wanted his classmates to read the book. And I'm like, no, that's not for little children.
He's a salesman. That's product placement. He's getting sales from mom. He's a young marketing executive. You never know. He may be the one to push that book and push that deal.
Well, he actually has. Like, he had some after school workers buy the book. And I'm like,
there you go. Little young entrepreneur taking after his mom. All right. The interview is only going to be about 30 minutes. We're getting close to time. again,
Okay.
you mentioned the movie plans.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't say anything about book 4. I haven't read book 3. I don't know where you left off. Is there room? Is there an opportunity for book 4? Or have you made a decision? Or, tell us something, because readers, whoever's read the trilogy, I'm sure they're anxious to know, they want these books to keep coming. They don't want it to
Yes.
end. So
Well,
what's book 4?
there is a book 4 coming out.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
It is a book 4. I'm inspired by Kimberly Lawson Roby. That is like one of the favorites.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She's a
Series.
wonderful soul. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I intend to, do it the same way. I would like it to be a series that goes on and on and on and on and on. We'll see how it goes.
Wow. Once again, everybody, it's DJ Gatsby. It's a talk show with the lovely and talented author, playwright, and singer. We've yet to hear her sing, Miss Teresa Howell. Other than your plans for the movie and book 4, what can your followers look forward to in the future from you? Is there another book in the works? Is there another series? Is there another play? What can they look forward to in the future from you?
So I'm working on so much. COVID may not have been nice to some people, but it was nice to me to spend time and write. So I have that book 4 that I'm working on. I have a book called Pastor Delilah that I'm working on. And I have a play that I'm working on called My Sister's Keeper. I have part 2 of that church life that I want to turn into a play.
Okay.
And I'm pretty much going to do the plays like how I did the trilogy. So there'll be a part 2 and a part 3.
Sure.
And we have the film stuff going on. I have a gospel single that's supposed to be coming out in October. And eventually it's going to be turned into an album. I just talked to some producers the other day. They want me to have at least 5 songs to create an LP. Okay. So yeah, I'm working on a lot of stuff, and I'm still a teacher. I left the classroom yet.
All right, you touched real quickly on the singing part. Do you have anything that's released now? Is it in SoundCloud, Mixcloud, Amazon, Spotify, Tidal? Is there anything out there that people can listen to, or they just have to stay tuned?
They just have to stay tuned. It'll be out probably in October, and we're waiting for that release because there's something else connected that is big to it. So we want to drop both of them at the same time.
Wow, you are very talented, blessed young lady. A lot of things going on. Thanks again for taking time out of your very busy schedule to come on my show after, being on these TV shows and Conversations Live, all these other things. You took time to be on my show, and thank you so much for reaching out to me and to let me know how important it was, or what a valuable addition to my catalog of authors and interviews would be to have you on. All right, so those people that are looking for the book and or to contact you on social media, how can they buy the book and how can they get in contact with you?
Well, the book is wherever books are sold, but they can get in contact with me. I have a website, teresabhowell.com. My email address is info@teresabhowell.com. Mm-hmm. And all of my social media handles are author Teresa B.
All right, listen, we have a few people that are waiting. I can't get everybody on to ask some questions, so I have a few people get on. I think there's Sarah and Rhonda and a few people. I'm going to pull them in if they have a question or comment for you. So let's see how this is going to work. Okay. Yeah, so if you tuned in and the camera's on you right now. So Rhonda, I got you right there. Do you have a question or comment for Teresa? 1 second.
One second. Hi, so sorry. I missed everything because nobody let me in Zoom. so I'm just getting on Zoom. I apologize. Everybody's waiting. I'm your sister, actually. I'm your auntie that you don't know. We all wanted to come on Zoom. Ruth is trying to get on. I've got her on the phone. So Teresa, I'm so sorry I missed the interview. I'd love to have some more information.
All right, listen, it's going to be playback. It's going to be on Facebook as well as YouTube. If you follow my Facebook page, Jeff Gatsby Wilson, all that information will be on there, as well as my website, Who's Who in African American Literature. So thanks for joining us and being a part of the show. Now we have Sarah Turner. Sarah, do you have a question or comment? You have to unmute your mic. Hold on 1 second. You have a question or comment for Teresa? Wait.
Still on mute.
Oh, you know what? There we go. Let's unmute everybody. How about that?
No, I don't have a question or comment yet.
All right.
Hello.
Is that Sarah S. Turner?
Yes.
How you doing, Sarah? Welcome to the DJ Gatsby Show. You have a question or comment for Teresa Howell?
No. Oh, turn that one off.
Yeah.
No, I don't have one. No.
All right, so listen, are you on two lines? Because I see Sarah over here and there another Sarah.
Yeah, she's cutting it off.
Okay.
We got it straight now.
All right. Well, listen, ladies, thank you all so much for trying to get into the show. I'm sorry if I didn't get you in. But again, the show is available on my Facebook page as well as my YouTube page. It's www.youtube.com/DJ Gatsby. So, Teresa, any last words before you go? I want to let you know that we definitely got to have you come back. Very interested in book 4 and the other projects that you're working on, as well as your singing projects. So, any shout outs or anything you want to say to your readers and fans before we go?
Shout out to my family and my children. Thank you for all of the wonderful readers that have been reading the book and leaving such good reviews. I hope you continue to support me, and I thank you for these lovely 4 years of being by my side.
Wow. So again, Sarah and Rhonda, thank you so much for joining us. Big shout out to everybody out there on Zoom who's going to be watching this. Also on Facebook Live. We lost our feed a little while ago. I guess my phone was dead or something, but we're not going to worry about that. Teresa, I'm looking forward to reading the book, reviewing it for DJ Gatsby's book club, and adding you to my Who's Who in African American Literature website, as well as the upcoming book that I'm writing.
Awesome.
So,
okay. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Honored.
Pray that God continues to bless you in all that you do. Quickly, I had a question for you. We'll say this off the camera, but everybody can follow you. I'm a guest on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Teresa B. Howell. Your books are available at all local bookstores or wherever books are sold. And I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show. And I look forward to you coming back. Please promise you come back and do another interview in the future.
I will. Thank you for having me.
All right, thanks everybody been watching the Talk Show with DJ Gatsby on our Zoom broadcast. Don't forget to follow my Blog Talk Radio show and also the Talk Show with DJ Gatsby. And follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at DJ Gatsby X. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel and visit my website, Who's Who in AfricanAmericanLiterature.com. Peace, God bless you, be safe, stay COVID-19 free. All right, goodbye, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. See you next Friday. Oh, you know, real quickly, I want to thank my guests from last week. I had some guests, film producers, Rodney Panther and also Roger Giles. Thank you guys for coming on the show. And next week, my guest is going to be celebrated 90s hip-hop promoter turned minister and gospel concert promoter out of New York. His name is Elvis Howell, also known as E-Man Boogie. He was a guest on my radio show last year. A very prominent entertainment promoter. Has some great shows. Marvin Sapp, other authors, other singers already this year. Due to the COVID-19 shutdown, he wasn't able to continue doing his gospel series, but he's ready and poised to come back. So join me next Friday with my interview with this very talented brother, Minister Elvis Howell, the Christian gospel concert promoter out of New York City. All right. Goodbye, everybody. God bless you. Thank you for coming on. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too.